Yeah, I think it's been a great start. I obviously was gone for the first few weeks, but being back in with the group and seeing all the work that they've been doing and kind of catching up with them has been really exciting. I think we want to build off what we've accomplished from last year, and that was such an incredible year for us and our inaugural season. And this season is only the expectation for it is only better and higher. And I think you can feel that with everybody who's on this team from last year and who's coming in. They know what the wave is and they just want to add to it. So it's kind of cool to have players come in and already like know that the standard and the level is high.
Two balls and a mic. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. Hey, Kailen, great to have you back in San Diego. Last season, you had competition with Carly Telford, who stepped up in some games in your absence. And now you're adding Lauren as coming in as a rookie. Do you see yourself being a mentor to her? And are you excited for the group of goalkeepers that San Diego Wave has this season?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if I see myself as a mentor. She sees me as one. I would love that. I don't want to step out of turn on that, but I think last year it was an incredible environment for us to learn and grow from each other, and we want to continue that. And she has so many strengths in different areas than us, and hopefully we can teach her some things and we can learn from her as well. I think that's the environment that we want to keep here in San Diego, is just that like challenge and competitiveness, but ultimately we're all trying to help each other get better. And if we can stick to that, then we're all going to improve. So it's better than being negatively competitive. So I hope she fits in well already. She's so positive, and yeah, I think she's going to be an incredible addition to the team.
Awesome. Thank you. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
Amor. Amor, do you want to go ahead?
Hi. Thank you. Hi, Kailen. I want to ask you something about your national team. What are your expectations for the next World Cup with the Canadian team?
Yeah, I think going into the World Cup, we know that we have everything that we need to win it. Going in, there's no expectation under that. So we go into this World Cup 100% guns blazing and ready to win. We know we have a strong team, and with everything else that's going on, we just put that in the back burner and focus on what we need to focus on, which is ourselves and what we're doing on the field.
And what do you think about the level in the CONCACAF area or with the teams, with the national teams? You are very strong.
Yeah, I think it's only getting better, which is really great for CONCACAF and for our qualifying and for the future of women's soccer. And the more that we can continue to grow that competitiveness and see the challenges and the upsets and the teams that maybe haven't been as strong in the past become stronger, it's only going to grow the game and make everybody better. And ultimately, that's what we want. We want the highest level that we can create. So I'm really excited to continue to play with within CONCACAF and see that level be raised.
And do you know something about Nigeria, Ireland, and Australia, one of the hostess in the next World Cup in your group?
Do I know something about them?
Yeah, about the teams.
Oh, yeah, I know we know a lot about them. I think we've been scouting them already and trying to learn as much as we can. You got to do your homework, you know. So we're already on top of that. Ireland, I think, is really similar to the style of a Japan or with the potential for a 3-5-2. So that it is a really exciting competition. They're going to bring something completely different than Australia, and so will Nigeria. So that's honestly, it's three completely different games. So we're gonna have to prepare three different ways and bring three different of our styles, because we know we have ways that we can beat them, but they're definitely all three games will be different.
And something else about Alex Morgan being in the top 3 in the FIFA Best Awards, and also seeing the San Diego Wave logo in the FIFA event. What does it feel for you with what happened last a few days ago?
Yeah, I mean, she completely deserves it. She's one of the top players in the world and has continued to hold that level for so long, which is absolutely incredible. We don't see that a lot. Seeing that San Diego logo is incredible. I think it's just proving that, I think there's a personally, I just think that they're trying to keep the NWSL clubs out of there, and seeing that in there is just a really bright light for our way to creep in. She's opening the door. She's kind of creating that lane, and it's going to allow a lot of players to get in that light and be seen. And I think we saw that a lot last year with even players like Sophia Smith and Sinky and other players on other teams that are just really stepping forward and making a big splash, like Dabinia, putting the NWSL on the map and making sure that they can't ignore us anymore as much as they're trying to. So Alex is really opening the door for a lot of players.
Thank you.
Of course.
Stephanie?
Hi, Kailen. First off, it's an honor to talk to you, and I have two questions. The first of which is that the IFFHS, which is a German organization, recently listed you as one of the top 5 goalkeepers in the entire world. And I'm just wondering, how has being at San Diego enhanced your overall game?
Well, I didn't know that, so thank you. That's pretty cool to know. I think being at San Diego, it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier with having Carly and Lauren and Louie here. We just have this incredible environment of growth and competitiveness that really is to learn from each other. And if you kind of can foster that environment, I think it really allows for all of us to be better. And the fact that I'm even in that consideration is a testament to them and to the environment that we have. We spend every day so close together, but if we weren't in this environment where we were competing, but we were also, I'm learning things, Carly's stopping and telling me, like, this is what I see, this is what maybe you could do differently. I don't think I get that opportunity. So ultimately, I don't get that without this group.
Right, and my second question is, I'm paraphrasing here, but I believe I read something not too long ago about how Alex Morgan has been text messaging you, offering you support, and you and the rest of the Canadian players struggle against your federation. And so I'm just wondering, how do you feel about the support you've gotten?
Oh, it's amazing. I know that they've gone through their own battle and they've been successful. And ultimately, it's important sometimes to remember that that didn't happen overnight. And that didn't happen within a year. It didn't happen within 2 years. It didn't happen within 5 years. So having somebody who's gone through it and being so supportive and reaching out and asking what they can do to help. I know Becky was doing the same for Janine and other players across the league, but obviously Alex was making sure that if she could reach out to me and help me in any way that she was. And that's just the environment that Casey's created here, is just having our own little family and our little San Diego family. But she has been a really big help, and we're grateful for all their support through the She Believes and past that. I think it hasn't just been a one-off, which is really incredible, because this is going to be just like theirs. It's going to be a long time. It's not something that happens overnight.
Yeah, and side note, I wrote an article, a brief excerpt about your struggles not too long ago for Sempre Milan, and I just wanted to say that I support you and I wish you and the Canadian players the best of luck in this endeavor. Thank you.
I really appreciate that. We appreciate any support and any highlighting that we can get from people, because it's massive help, and that's why Parliament is involved now. So we are grateful for everybody.
Jeff?
Oops, sorry. Hey, Kailen. Wondering, as you all play out of the back, as we saw that you can and do last season, particularly looking at what Naomi does, maybe from your perspective as the only one behind her, really. What do you see from her, especially when she's got that ability to kind of maybe dribble out of pressure, and obviously there's nobody behind her? Are you sort of, I imagine you don't have any nerves with her, right? Because you kind of gotten used to it, but just kind of how are you seeing that, her game as you sort of keep possession in the back there?
I mean, I think as much as nobody can get used to me making them nervous, I'm still nervous with her, but I do trust her more than a lot of other people. So ultimately, when she has the ball at her feet, she's in charge. She's on the reins, and I'm playing off of her. She is one of the youngest, and I think has one of the smartest brains for a young player. Just soccer brain, honestly, and she sees the game so well. So I think that's such a testament to the work that she's put in and who she is as a person and player, that she can get that ball and kind of just expect what the forward movements are going to happen coming at her and the pressure. So it's great to be able to see that kind of play at such a young age. And I'm really excited for what this season's going to have. I know the two of us are going to challenge each other, and we're going to push each other, and we're going to put each other in some really awkward positions. But ultimately, that's when I know that we're going to grow the most. And I'm really excited for the year for the two of us to just continue to grow and to push this team forward.
Thank you.
Of course.
And last question, Abraham?
Yeah, kind of nice to see you again, Kailen. Kind of going off of that, you were a part of like one of the bigger moments in Snapdragon's history so far, and I was kind of wondering what you kind of hope for this season and with the home opener on March 25th.
Yeah, absolutely. I think last year it was an incredible atmosphere, and it's something that I'll never forget. That first game was absolutely incredible. It's a core memory created for a lot of people. And my expectations for this year are just the same. I think we just need to bring that same energy, and we're gonna bring it 10 times more. And I know that our fans are gonna bring it even higher. Um, I think what I heard the most from that experience was how fun it was, and I was a little jealous, just hearing how much fun everybody had at the stadium. I was like, "Damn, I missed out on all the fun." Like, apparently this is it's not just for the game. Like, there's so many things to do and see and eat, and yeah, I think they've been able to create such an incredible environment, and it's not just about soccer, but you get to see some incredible soccer while you're there for sure. And we'll make sure that we bring that performance 110% every single time.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Kailen. And we'll be back in a few minutes with Casey. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, we've had a really good kind of 3.5 weeks. Team have been working really hard. Obviously working on our physical fitness and the new relationships within the team, and it's great to have the internationals back off a long spell away.
Okay. 2 balls and a mic.
Hi, Casey. Thank you for your time. With preseason already on their way and you have Houston Dash upcoming already, what are the most important things you're focusing? Is it player performances, like individually, or is it team chemistry for the upcoming season?
Yeah, I think obviously it's about players. I'm not really focused on individual performances too much at the moment. It's about building relationships, building chemistry, and building performances. I think players have a long off season here. In my opinion, it's too long, so it takes them a little while to get back in. But yeah, more about the chemistry and the relationships, and just having a go at the new little nuances to the game that we've been trying to bring in.
Got it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Abraham.
Yeah, kind of building off of that with your first preseason game and all the internationals coming back, I was kind of wondering how you approach playing time for that. Do you kind of focus on letting the internationals get their feet under them again, or is it letting the people that have been in camp keep getting their work?
It'll be a mixture. It'll depend on what loads they've had since they've been away, what they're dealing with, and what we're managing with them since they've come back. So yeah, we'll manage each individual, and it'll be about some of them getting some playing time, some of them won't play at all. So yeah, it's based on what we think is right for this game, and also making sure we continue our preparation with everybody else that's been here.
Thank you.
And more.
Hi, Casey.
Hi.
I want to ask you something about Alex Morgan. What can you say about the FIFA The Best Awards? Do you think she deserved it?
Well, I'm very biased. I'm a head coach, and she scored a hell of a lot of goals for me last season and was an outstanding player in this league. And especially for us, the form that she showed. She was left out of the national team, got back in, and has had incredible form since then. So, yes, I think her leadership, her goals, her games, she was right up there as one of the best in the world last year.
And of course, that's very good for San Diego. What do you think Alex Morgan need to do in order to win this award next year?
But being second best in the world isn't bad, is it? So, I think she's got a World Cup ahead of her. She's got a big season with us ahead of her. If she can continue that form, there's no reason why she can't be voted the best in the world next year.
And something about these awards, you coach Mary Earps. What can you say about her as a goalkeeper and winning this award?
I signed Mary for Manchester United. I'm just incredibly, immensely proud of her, because I know the difficulty that she went through. She was left out of the national team by Phil Neville, and I was her head coach then. And she went through a really difficult time mentally and emotionally with that decision. She went away. We worked really hard with her on, focusing on herself, focusing on her club game. she's got an incredible goalkeeper coach in Ian Wilcock at Manchester United, and it's credit to her. She put her head down. She worked hard. She's so diligent about everything she does, and she's gone and had an absolutely unbelievable European Championships, and is deserving of winning that award.
Okay, thank you.
Jeff.
Hey Casey, this time of year in this league, it's kind of hard to predict a lot. It's a lot of change, in the off season. Teams even last year kind of rolled out brand new formations. I'm just wondering, I guess transition's always part of this league, but what are you kind of expecting, league play, competition to look like at large this season, if it's any different, if you're planning any different, and yeah, I guess that to start, if I could.
Well, I think the hardest thing here is the amount of turnover of head coaches. This year, the amount of turnover and change within clubs is unbelievable. So we have no clue how some teams are going to play. So, I think for the first half of the season, everyone will be working each other out again. And I still expect a very fast, physical, transitional league. And I think it'll be extremely competitive, as it always is. So yeah, I can't give you more of an answer than that, I'm afraid, with the amount of turnover that's been, again this season.
And just from your, management, everything in-house, I guess, of how you deal with that. I mean, how do you plan for that in preseason a little bit? And I guess how much uncertainty do you see in this season, given not only that, but obviously, we've talked about some of the, the international overlap, the absences. I mean, how are you sort of tackling a very different season this time around?
Well, it's different. It's very different. Obviously, in England, FIFA windows are FIFA windows. You don't play through them. That's very different here, and it's something I'd like to see drastically change. I'd like us to follow the FIFA windows. I'd like the calendar to change. So it's something you have to manage. You have to build your squad for. Obviously, we're trying to make sure we play as many highly competitive games against NWSL opposition as we can during preseason, so we can, get our eyes on those teams, and also try and get our eyes on other teams that, are playing during preseason, so we have a little go into the season a little bit more informed. I've got a great analysis team here as well now, so they'll be working on game 1, 2, 3, making sure that we've got every bit of information that we need so that we can prepare the team. Yes, it's a different year. It's a World Cup year. We're going to play through that. So, there's potential that if internationals do well, they could miss 4 regular season games, 3 Challenge Cup games. That's 7 games a year in the year that they'll miss. And next year, I don't think it's going to be much different because it's an Olympic year. So, until we change the calendar, which I would urge us to with some, imminence, until we move towards not playing through FIFA windows, which I'd urge us to. I think we're still going to have these challenges, but it's my job as a head coach to navigate those and make sure we've got the right squad available during those windows, and that we prepare everybody and everybody's ready to go.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Stephanie.
Hi, Coach. Speaking of building chemistry, I've been meaning to ask you this for a while, but I keep forgetting to. I don't know if you're familiar with Manuel Pellegrini, the former coach of Manchester City and the current coach of Real Betis.
Yeah.
But he has a system called the invisible system, where he lets his players form chemistry without much guidance. And I'm wondering how do you let the players form chemistry among each other, and when do you decide, to intervene and which players need more coaching, or just to let them form it chemistry naturally?
I think that's the art of coaching, is knowing what to do when. Who needs help? How do they need it? When do you let them, discover themselves? How do you let them go through that self-discovery and, allow them to make mistakes so that they can learn from them? And I think that's the art of coaching, is knowing, right, okay, they've made that mistake, they can correct it. Can they self-correct? Do they have the knowledge to self-correct? If they're making the same mistake 3, 4, 5 times, then it's my job as a coach to help guide and paint pictures so that they can make, better decisions on the field. But I'm a big believer in a coaching philosophy that creates decision makers. It creates players that aren't afraid to make mistakes, that can take risks, can be brave, and they can, understand the game at a very high level, because you're, putting them in situations where they have to deal with chaos, where they have to problem solve. And it's also your job to guide sometimes and direct. And I think the art of coaching is knowing when to do what.
Thank you, and good luck with the preseason.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. We're gonna wrap it up here.